From Shawnee, Oklahoma, this is Midwest Sports Saturday. Good Saturday morning, and it's been a while since we've done a Midwest Sports Saturday on a Saturday morning, so I'm kind of happy about that. I'm Joey McWilliams, along with Michael Westbrook, my longtime broadcast partner, and broadcast partners this weekend, along with Haley Tucker at the Great American Conference Tournament, the 2022 edition, here in Fire Lake Arena in Shawnee. And it's been fun. It's been a good tournament so far. We're halfway done, actually a little bit more than halfway. We have 8 of the 14 games done, but we're halfway through the days that we will be here. And so Michael and I have a lot to talk about. Look, there's a lot going on Division II and NAIA today. We're pretty much going to focus on the GAC and talk about the tournament since we're here. As you can see behind me, folks getting ready for the game that is scheduled to start at noon, and that will be with the top seed Southeastern Oklahoma taking on the number 4 seed in Southern Nazarene. And that actually went by the way of the top seeds, but that was one of the only matchups that we'll have that's purely chalk.
Yeah, well, that was a good starting point since you and I started in 2009 together calling Southeastern games, and the number 1 seed and Coach Kelly Green, longtime head coach, they beat East Central 82-59. We got that rivalry game of the two towns, schools 70 miles apart from each other, and for the first half, a pretty good ball game, but Player of the Year Adam Dworsky and so many other guys, Ante Berzovic. I mean, for a day, Ante Berzovic had the tournament record for most rebounds in a game before that was broken.
Less than 24 hours, I think.
Yeah, so, you just put those two together, and Kellen Manick's been around for a long time. You just go down the list. It's kind of funny. It's a team that only plays about 7 players, but you go down the list, and all 7 of those are very much impact players for Southeastern.
And one of the things, too, the all-conference honors were given out and announced just prior to the tournament. Every one of the starting 5 for Southeastern was recognized as an all-GAC player in some form, first team, second team, honorable mention. It was really something.
Yeah, it really was. Of course, Kelly Green was the coach of the year as well, and I think we heard it described yesterday as Southeastern has been the class of the league all season long, and I would say that's been the case for sure.
It really has, and this is a team, I will say it again today on the air, I've said it before, when they shoot the ball well, they are really, really tough to beat, and as long as they are shooting the ball well, and they were one of the only teams to shoot the ball well in the quarterfinals, but they got it done and came away with a big victory.
Well, one thing was because they got to the rim. They weren't taking too many long shots. Now, we saw Oklahoma Baptist struggle from long range. Southwestern won, but we saw them struggle from long range as well. Southeastern's difference, the reason they got to 82 points, they got to the free throw line, they got to the rim, and then the outside shots started falling a little bit later in the game, but they established themselves in the paint with Ante Berzovic, the freshman of the year.
Michael, you mentioned Oklahoma Baptist, the number 2 seed, fell to the number 7 seed Southwestern Oklahoma. It definitely was an upset.
It really was, and a 6 seed Southern Arkansas won as well, so we've got that matchup today of 6 and 7, and it was a 68-56, number 7 Southwestern over Oklahoma Baptist. Damian Thornton's a first-team All-GAC selection, a regular on that list each and every year, and he was certainly a key. I like the way Cam Gibson played as well, and Coach Terry Evans has got his team playing really well at the right time.
The 4-5 matchup, we saw that yesterday. Southern Nazarene, the team you see behind us, warming up in Henderson State, and it was a tight contest as we expected it to be.
Yeah, it's nice to get one of those on paper that you think is going to be close. It was close, and it was that way all year long between those two teams. Southern Nazarene comes away with a win. Ended up being an 11-point victory, 69-58, but, free throws at the end of the game pushed that lead out. I think I'd have to go back and check. I thought that I read that the game was had a lead or a tie change 20 times. It was something like that.
I would buy that. I don't recall that, but I would buy it. I would think that would be the case. Teams that played 2 6-point contests over the course of the season, each won a 6-point game. This was 11, but it was tied all the way to the end.
And the thing is, they opened up with each other last year in the conference tournament. Henderson got the win in that one, so it was a bit of a revenge for Southern Nazarene, a team that's won 2 conference tournament championships, not that far removed from those wins for Coach Adam Bohach.
The number 7 seed, we talked about Southwestern Oklahoma, they're going to get the number 6 seed a little bit later on today, Southern Arkansas, with a victory over 3rd-seeded Northwestern Oklahoma.
Well, it was more like Devontae and Jalen Brooks with the victory, I think. Now, no discredit to the rest of the Mule Riders, but it sure was fun to watch those two guys play. I don't have all the numbers right in front of me, but that is where we were talking about the rebounding. Jalen Brooks actually goes out and then reestablishes a new conference tournament record with 20 rebounds in a game as Southern Arkansas
with
just
24 points.
Absolutely dominated on the glass. Yeah, and the 24 points as well. And the thing is, most of the accolades, most of the attention throughout the last couple of years has gone to his brother Devontae, who had a great game, a double-double as well. But Jalen was the star of that game yesterday.
So we move to the women's side of the bracket. We'll see 2 women's games today. The semifinals will be in the second part of the day of 4 days, 4 games again, the quadruple header again in the GAC tournament, but semifinal Saturday. The top seed, Southwestern Oklahoma State, will be taking on Henderson State, the 4 seed, in our first of the 2 games.
Now, this is more your expertise. As I was on sidelines, I can't say I may have paid attention as closely to those games, but Southwestern, what more can you say? I mean, here we are again. Coach Kelsey Music has her team in the semifinals and a win away from yet another championship berth. And it's just year after year what she's been able to do in Weatherford, just reloading each and every year. And, they were really impressive. And they had a little bit from everybody in that one. And they hit a lot of threes, as they usually do.
That's Southwestern. They're going to have a powerful offense. And the defense has come along so much. When they really got the defense pretty much installed back in 2019, that's when they made their run to the national championship game, came up ultimately short to Lubbock Christian in double overtime, but a 35-2 team. But it was a team that's always going to be offensively strong, but they had a defense to go with it, and that's what Coach Music has been doing ever since. Yeah. So they're going to take on Southern Nazarene. Southern Nazarene came away with a victory again in the 4-5 matchup yesterday. They're taking on Henderson State.
Right.
I apologize. Henderson State in the 4-5 matchup.
But that was a great game.
But it was a great game as Henderson State defeated East Central.
Yeah, and you and I had a conversation yesterday about taking timeouts at certain momentum points. Henderson State gets the victory, and I had a chance to talk to Jill Thomas after the game about that, actually.
I'm curious now.
And so I'll just, the audience will fill them in here. A couple of big plays from the Reddies, and then all of a sudden a timeout, and you think, man, the momentum is just going to die. Actually, Coach Thomas told me that's kind of what she wanted. She knew East Central had a powerful offense. If they could hit a 3, she would rather slow it down and take some momentum away from the potential of East Central coming back, because she felt it had been more powerful if the Lady Tigers could have capitalized with a 3 of their own. So she got the 3, has the momentum, slow down everything. And so her style is very much fast-paced and then bring it to a halt. And we saw that a couple times in that game yesterday, but it really was a good game. And again, the score not quite as indicative of how that one went. It was pretty close, got a little bit out of hand at the end.
A couple of things really quickly, and we'll get a chance to visit with one of the play-by-play people. Individual play-by-play people, of course. This is our play-by-play guy.
We're the people.
For the games today, but for the GAC. But one of the school's play-by-play guys here in just a moment. Michael, really quickly, an arch rivalry game coming up in the other semifinal on the women's side. Number 7 seed Arkansas Tech. That's kind of weird to say.
Yeah.
Came away with an upset victory over Southern Nazarene, and then number 3 seed Harding with a big win last night over Northwestern Oklahoma, holding the Rangers to 0 points in the third quarter.
Yeah, that was something. It's only the 4th time we've seen it in Great American Conference history. It was the first time in the tournament. And when we talked to the 2 players from Harding and Coach Kirby after the game, none of them admitted anyways that they knew that they had held Northwestern to 0 points during that quarter until after the fact. So they were just locked into the moment, that's for sure. Now, I noticed it at about 5 minutes left. I thought, this is not going well, but what a matchup we've got today. Arkansas Tech and Harding, they met up in 2020, the very first game of the tournament. Tech was a 7 seed then, and they won by 2 as they took down number 2 Harding. So again, today it's 7-3, but I mean, you just pick a year basically, and you can find a game where there's been a fun one between those 2. In fact, 2017 they played each other 4 times. Yes. So they know each other well. It's a big rivalry.
The NCAA tournament to get that.
So that'll be fun.
Michael Westbrook will be on the call today. That's at noon. So YouTube, GAC Athletics, check it out. I'll get to sit alongside him today and always enjoy getting to do that. We'll have GAC basketball all day long, 2 men's games and 2 women's games to follow that.
And we don't have Haley here with us today, so we got to work extra hard.
That's exactly
okay,
right.
Thanks, Joey.
Thank you, Michael. We'll get to hear from another play-by-play person here in a moment, but I have to have Michael on the broadcast with me because, again, longtime broadcast partner for 13 years now, or off and on over those 13 years. 3 years since we got to call Southeastern Oklahoma State games together, and that was a lot of fun. But Hey, listen, I appreciate you watching us here on Midwest Sports Net. Now, I want to take just a moment as again, we're going to have one more guest here. It's a bit of an abbreviated Midwest Sports Saturday. I say that sometimes, and sometimes they go long. But we're going to have to get on the air here in a little bit with the noon broadcast for the GAC tournament. So not able to see any comments right now. If you're watching this and there are any comments on there, not at a place where I can see that. But I do want to say thank you for watching, and the viewership is growing. And if you have ever watched one of these Midwest Sports Saturdays, or you're watching one right now, you take the time, please take the time to like and share. Please do subscribe. We're headed for that 1,000 subscriber mark, so I believe we're going to get to it pretty quickly, and you can be a part of that. So thank you very much. As we're waiting for Jay Lindley to come over here, let me give you just a little bit of the schedule of what we have going on behind me. This is Fire Lake Arena. I have had a Midwest Sports Saturday in Shawnee before, but it was on the campus of Oklahoma Baptist University, and really enjoyed that as well. Just up the road from where we are here, we're in South Shawnee. I don't know, I hesitate to say, are we actually in Tecumseh? We might be, but a great facility here. This is the first time the GAC Basketball Tournament has been held here at Fire Lake Arena. So yeah, come on in, Jay, at Fire Lake Arena. They've had lots of other things here in the past, boxing, MMA, bowling. They've had roller derby in this place before. That is a true story, and this is the first time that they're having basketball in here. So let me introduce you properly. Really quickly, we have games coming up. I'll give you the schedule in a moment. Right now, it is a privilege to have with me on Midwest Sports Saturday, Jay Lindley, who is the play-by-play voice of the Savage Storm for Southeastern. And man, I appreciate you sitting in.
Hey, no problem, man. Thanks for having me. I think it's kind of cool what they're doing here, because this is kind of a prelude to professional basketball. So they get a test run with a conference tournament. So that's pretty cool.
That's true. Citizen Potawatomi Nation has purchased a team, and they are going to have the Potawatomi Fire that is going to find its home court right here in the Fire Lake Arena, which is really pretty cool, and it's going to be part of the basketball league in its second season. This is a semi-pro league with franchises in, I think, as many as 20 states.
Yeah,
so it's all around. It could be interesting. Jay, we talked a little bit about Southeastern. Probably talk more about Southeastern than any of the other teams, but I want to give you a chance to talk about them too, because that's the game that is coming up at noon. So I've got about 5 or 6 minutes with you. I know you're going to go on the air here in just a moment. This is a really, really good Storm team.
They're very good, but they're not unbeatable, obviously. I mean, they've taken 5 dents so far this year, 4 times in conference play. So while they're good, I mean, obviously, and earned the right to be the top seed in the tournament, but again, not unbeatable. And the team that they're playing today, Southern Naz, is one of those teams that really pushed the limits, especially that game that was played up in Bethany. I mean, that game was crazy. Went to overtime, 94-93 for those that didn't know. 1.3 point per possession for each team in that game. Other crazy stat of that game, 14 ties, 19 lead changes. Yeah. So again, while Southeastern really, really good, I'll argue the best team I've seen personally since calling the games. I would also even argue could put a run for the 97 teams money. I mean, they've just got so many weapons. And
I'm
I think
still
that's what
going to say, and this was a team
not
I was
Rodman,
calling.
Obviously.
No, not Rodman. No, the mid-'80s teams, I think
Yeah.
really they take the cake. And some of the teams way back when with Jerry Shipp.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to talk about that, but that goes before either one of us were born.
Yeah.
Me too. Just saying.
I make you jokes. You did it on your own.
I know. But I was there on the call with the 06-07 team, the 05-06 and the 06-07 team, and I would say that one was a pretty tough one.
Yeah.
This one, if it makes it a little further, then as far as I'm concerned, it'll be up there with that one.
I think the difference between this team and that team in particular is just the weapons. And even guys coming off of the bench like, people don't talk, everybody talks about Jet Sternberger and obviously Adam Dorsky and Kellen Manick and Bobby Johnson and Ante Bursovic. The bench play don't get a lot of love because they don't log a lot of minutes, but the flip side of it is when the bench comes in, they hold their own. You got Kyle Leslie coming in, knocking down an average of about a 3-pointer a game. He's getting you 3 or 4 rebounds. It's limited action, but if you look at the numbers, you can get 3 points, 3 boards in 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes of action. That's productive bench play. You got R.G. Weeks coming out, playing good defense, throwing his elbows in the rim like he did the other day. So I think that's an overlooked product that they have. Al Irvin getting back into shape, giving Dorsky a little bit of time off. I mean, so I think those are things that make them just a more rounded team, perhaps. But again, while they're good, not unbeatable.
That's
and
right.
I'll make the argument all day long. I mean, I know you cover all the conferences, and this is one thing that has griped me for a while. I think the Great American Conference this year, the men's league in particular, is one of the toughest top to bottom. And I know they don't get a lot of love because it's a young league as far as that goes. It hasn't been around for 100 years.
11th year.
Yeah, I mean, but the flip side of that to me is when you take the bottom team in the conference standings in Harding, who beats the two best teams in the conference.
Yeah.
And I think it gets looked at the wrong way. Some people outside the conference may look at it and go, oh, that league's weak because they won. I argue that league's pretty darn strong.
Yeah.
You go and you look at some of the numbers, the points as far as margin of victory between the top teams and the bottom tier teams in this conference were very minuscule throughout the season. Southeastern just happened to have one of those years where on average they beat everybody, about 12 to 16
Right.
points. That's buoyed a little bit by a revenge win over Harding. I'm contradicting myself a little bit, but
that win over Harding was 50 plus.
Yeah,
so yeah,
57. A record of a few records this team has had.
That was something else. But okay, Jay, really quickly then, and of course we really didn't even take the time to mention Kelly Green that much. Kelly Green, a longtime coach who definitely has done his part.
Well, and I'll say this: Kelly's very humble about things. My partner in crime back home, Bob Sullins, brought it up the other day on the post game, and I agree with him. Kelly's mindset is, I've got 5 all-conference players, so yeah, we're going to be good. My counter to that is, you took a guy in Adam Dorsky, who's this 5'11" kid from Flower Mound, Texas, that no one knows about, and you develop him into a guy. And granted, and that's the other thing I like about this team. Adam will tell you his assist record is a team award because he's got to have guys hit shots in order to have that. Regardless, you've taken that kid who's going to at least be 5th all-time in assists in Division II college basketball history. He's already accomplished that.
Yeah.
That takes coaching. That takes development. Kellen Manick, great player, was a great player in high school, goes to Earl Roberts. Obviously, if you're getting D1 looks, you're a great player. But little things that Kelly Green has done with Kellen Manick, things like teaching him to take a charge, teaching him a better way to shoot the three, stepping into shots, things that he didn't do as just a natural athlete, that's coaching. And I got a lot of respect for Coach Green.
And Coach Green, he really does. He does a fantastic job. He's the Coach of the Year in the Great American Conference this year, rightfully so. Player of the Year in Adam Dorsky, rightfully so. I don't know that there's anybody that I've seen this year or in recent years. I mean, you put him on a line in the track and say, hey, 100-yard dash, he's going to get beat. But as for being from point A to point B on the court, I don't think there's anybody quicker than he is, and he's really something to watch.
He's a math major. He knows his angles. I bet he dominates geometry and doing proofs.
Well,
remember those?
Yeah, as a matter of fact,
I was terrible at them. But I'm guaranteeing you that Adam Dorsky, just watch him play, he certainly knows the angles of this court.
That is true. And it's a brand new court that the Great American Conference is breaking in. Jake, listen, I appreciate you stopping by. Anything else you want to add?
No, man. Hope you're able to enjoy this one. I'm ready to go enjoy it. So.
All right, go enjoy it, and I'll be seated down from you.
I'm not going to tell you who I want to win, though. Okay,
I will. Southeastern.
Southeastern. I want Southeastern to win.
There you go. Jay Lindley, the play-by-play voice of the Southeastern Savage Storm here on Midwest Sports Saturday. Again, thanks for watching our live broadcast from Shawnee Fire Lake Arena. Often in these broadcasts in which I get a chance to pretty much dovetail off a GAC championship, we may have a few more guests, but it was a little bit later on in the morning when we get to go live, so we're going to have to bring it to a halt. So let me give you a lineup really quickly of what you're going to see today on the GAC Sports Network. And you can also find it on YouTube by checking out GAC Athletics. So YouTube there. Our first game of the day today is a semifinal. Southeastern Oklahoma taking on the 4-seed Southern Nazarene. Second semifinal will be number 6 Southern Arkansas, number 7 Southwestern Oklahoma. Those are seeds, obviously. And then the women's games take place this evening. I'll be play-by-play on that. Michael will shift over. We get to trade roles, and he'll be doing color alongside me. Number 1, Southwestern Oklahoma State, top 20 team, and number 2 in the Central Region rankings, taking on number 4 seed Henderson State. And then the rivalry game again, as we talked about, number 3 seed Harding taking on number 7 seed Arkansas Tech. I want to say thanks to everyone for watching today. Again, beautiful facility behind me here, Fire Lake Arena, great place here in Shawnee. We encourage you to stop by. If you are watching and you're close by, I realize there's a lot of high school basketball going on in the state of Oklahoma today. Look at all the scores from all of the high school playoffs, regardless of class, at oklahomasports.net. Check that out there. That's always good. And you can also find things, oklahomasports.net. Let's stick with that. And then 8 tournaments in Class A and B happening today in Oklahoma City. Area tournaments, classes 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, and 6A in Oklahoma throughout the state. But if you are close or anywhere near Shawnee, you need to stop by. You owe it to yourself to watch some good basketball and check things out at Fire Lake Arena here in Shawnee, the GAC Conference Tournament here in the middle, right here in the middle of Oklahoma, and it is a great place to be. I want to say thanks to Jay Lindley for stopping by. Thanks to Michael Westbrook for stopping by as well. Both very good gentlemen, very good broadcasters as well. And thank you to you for watching. Tune in again. We're going to have more Midwest Sports Saturday coming up and a lot more coverage of D2 basketball and the NAIA tournaments as well as we get into the playoffs and March Madness continues. God bless you. Have a great day.